Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Thank you for joining me. Today we're gonna sit down and play with some makeup because let me just tell you, I need this, okay? It has been what feels like forever since I've sat down to film some content. I've posted some pre-filmed content that I had already edited and got ready to post on the channel. So you've been seeing those all of last week, and I need to film some content for this week. So we've got some new things to play around with, some products to test out. I am ready to do a full face of makeup. I've been keeping my routine pretty simple. As many of you've known for quite some time now that I've been dealing with some eczema on my eyelids, and finally it's under control and it's on its way out. You barely can even tell that I had it, which is great. So I am ready to put on makeup on this face. Yes, absolutely, I need this. Like I said, we're doing a face of makeup today. I'm gonna do something simple around the eyes. I don't wanna just push the boundaries too far too soon, you know what I mean? Just keeping it simple, but trying out some of these products. I'm looking down at all the things that I ordered when I had eczema on my eyelids, and I thought, hey, these are, you know, simple basic things that I could probably still use. I never even opened them. They're sitting here on my desk. So I'm gonna show you what I got. We're gonna put it on and we're gonna put this face together for the day. So if that sounds good, then just continue watching. All right, so the products that I got, I ordered several things from the Kosas brand. I also have some makeup by Mario. I have just a few different things. I also have some drugstore content that I want to create with some of these products as well. So I'm gonna show you. I have everything in like a little basket, just kind of hanging out here on my desk with some new products, some new things. So let's start with what I purchased high-end wise. So I got some Kosas things. As I said, I purchased another baked blush, the Blush is Life formula. I love this formula. This is a top tier. So I purchased the shade called Hype, and it's described as a warm poppy pink. And as I said, everything is still sealed in its box. Haven't even opened anything. We're gonna do that today. I also did pick up the new Soul Gazer mascara. This is a lengthening and lifting peptide mascara, also from Kosas. I've seen this over on TikTok and I thought I'd just place an order. Bought this at Sephora and I cannot wait to try this out. A mascara that can give me length and volume but also take care of the lashes. Sounds like a great idea, right? The last Kosas item is another Soul Gazer Intensifying Gel Eyeliner, but this one specifically is the Allure, which is the dark brown. I do have it in black. I wanted something just very simple, a little bit more kind of gentle to go around the eyes. I've been doing just a basic, very thin, minimal eyeliner at the base of my lashes, mostly on the outer corner, kind of keeping this bare part here and the inner part where the eczema was without putting on a whole ton of things. So I'm excited for this because this formula is creamy, it's blendable, I can move it around, smudge it, and get kind of like a smoky lash look. So I'm excited for the dark brown. Now, these next two products are repeat purchases because I love this formula so much. The new Makeup by Mario cream shadows. They are the Master Matte's Longwear cream shadows. That's the name. I have 2 additional shades. I talked about loving the formula when I purchased and tried Mauve in a previous video a few weeks back. This is such a good moussey, velvety, soft matte look to the eyes, but the formula is just beautifully done. Went back for 2 more shades, Sandstone and Taupe. So again, have not even opened these and I'm just busting at the seams to put this on my face, okay? I purchased the new Smooth Blur Bronzer from Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I bought 1 shade and this is the Warm Sand Vibes, and I cannot wait to see what this looks like and put this on as well. Rare Beauty launched some new lip glosses, so of course I had to purchase one. This is the Positive Light Illuminizing Gloss. So cute, the packaging. It's a soft pink with a little bit of a soft sparkle look to it. And of course I had to buy the pink shade. Like, hello, if you know me, you already know this. The shade is called Flicker. In my little basket that I had, I've got some new goodies as well, some new drugstore things. So e.l.f. has the new Jelly Pop line. It came back, the Jelly Pop gloss, the highlighter stick. I reviewed those last year. I will link to that video. I love their formulas for the Jelly Pop range. The primer's great. I love the lip oil, but I did not try the Melting Cleansing Balm. I don't know if this was part of it last year. I don't think it was. So I bought this with the idea of using gentle ways to remove any makeup around the eyes, especially during those times where I have an eczema breakout. And honestly, I didn't even use this yet. It comes with a little spatula. It's a classic type of balm that you kind of massage into the skin and it starts to break down the makeup. You add water, rinses off. It's pretty much very similar to most cleansing balms on the market, but this is much more affordable, easily accessible in many stores. So I kind of had to. So you can get these at Ulta. You can also get them at Target, online on the e.l.f. website. Again, everything is going to be linked for you down below. Revolution has the new Bouncy Blur blushes. So I picked up one of those shades as well to try. This is the Blurry Rose. I actually really like this packaging. I think it's really nice and somewhat elevated for Revolution being a much more affordable brand. And I still have the seal on it, so we're going to test this texture out, this color, kind of play around with some things. I think I may try this on one side and do the Kosas on the other, and then mix the two so we match for the rest of the day. So I can kind of tell you what I like about this formula and then how this color looks on me, because this formula from Kosas is elite. I already know that. So excited for this. I have a subscriber who sent me a message when I talked about the Hempz Glow Getter lotion in my favorites, and I had said that I wanted that scent in a fragrance, and they said Amazon hasn't. So I looked on Amazon and sure enough, they actually did. The Glow Getter Herbal Body Mist that has the bergamot and warm vanilla scent to match the lotion. But also Ulta has this as well. I didn't even know. Like, I know I didn't see this for sure when I went in the store to buy the lotion, but this smells incredible. I'm not going to put it on right now because I did put some, you know, blurring kind of bronzy things on my chest, which is from the Isle of Paradise, by the way. Looks like this. This is the Golden Hour Sunny Serum. I bought this, I think, back in May, and I have that on my chest to just give me a little glow and a little hint of something there. So I'm not going to double up on the glowiness, but this smells incredible, and it gives that kind of glowy, luminous look to your body and to your skin. Your skin looks incredible when you put this on. It's like golden goddess vibes, but it's affordable. It's like 15 bucks, and it smells divine. In that basket, I had some free samples, free gift with purchases at Ulta, but I had to restock my Cocokind lip balm. This is the Ceramide Lip Blur Balm. The clear shade, if you know, you already know. Like, I use this every single day. Like, I am completely out of mine, so I bought a new one of those. Clarins launched some new lip oils, and I bought one shade. There's two new shades, and this one is like a pretty peachy, kind of sparkly color. Look how nice that looks. Just so fresh and easy, and it says number 27. I forget the actual name of it. I will, of course, link to it below, but the formula of Clarins lip oils are actually really good, and this color just screams my name, so I had to get that. Milani has new Fruit Fetish lip oils, some fall shades, and I bought one, Candy Apple. And I'd have to say, this actually looks much more red in person than it does on the Ulta website. I'm not mad at it. It's like a beautiful kind of sparkly, shimmery red. Let me see if I can get the camera close so you guys can see. Let me see, will it focus? Maybe there you can see a little bit of that kind of sheen and that sparkle. It's not super sparkly that I can tell from just looking at it. We'll have to try this on as well. Just some things to kind of keep your eye out. I may not get to put everything on, but just some things to be on the lookout for future videos. And then I have some skincare products. The Byoma Recovery Oil, I bought this just to help with just keeping the skin's barrier healthy. Being in the chlorine, outside in the sun, I figured double up on some moisture and hydration at night. Doesn't hurt anybody. So this is supposed to be an oil. It's full of sea buckthorn oil. It's got jojoba oil, squalane, so it's barrier lipids, barrier strengthening, and I'm all for that. So I got this. And did you know that Cocokind has a vitamin C glow serum? They make one of my favorite ceramide serums. If you have not tried it, what are you waiting for? It's full of ceramides, which is so important for your skin's barrier, for the health of your skin. And I just cannot wait to continue trying this out and giving you my thoughts and official review. But it has azelaic acid, so I was like, say less, because I love azelaic acid. I use it every single morning in my routine. I have been for years. So this has azelaic acid, sea grape caviar, which sounds very fancy, right? And vitamin C to brighten and even the skin. So I am kind of sensitive to brightening aspects of the vitamin C because most vitamin C's just kind of irritate my skin for whatever reason. It's just a little too much. And I thought I'd give it a try from a brand that I know and love. So I'm going to continue using this, sharing my thoughts, but it's kind of like a 1-2 punch. It's like it's all wrapped in one. I get my azelaic acid, I get my vitamin C, which is super important for your skin's health, for collagen production, for brightening the skin. So it's like all in one. And I thought, of course they would do that and give us everything we need in one bottle. So I cannot wait to share with you my official thoughts on this, but just some skincare things that I have purchased and integrated into my routine. So now we get to actually play with some of these products and put it on. Real quickly, we're gonna zip through some of the base complexion products because they're not brand new products for this video. I don't have a lot of foundations that match me because I've gotten so much color this summer. So I've been using the Tirtir concealer. This is the Glide and Hide concealer. Shade 4N is what I've been using. I've done the liquid part. It comes with a thicker, more stick-like concealer on the top and a liquid version at the bottom, which I absolutely love. I use this as foundation. So to prep my skin, I did the Velvet Smooth Primer from Iconic London. I haven't had a chance to actually film my review on that primer, but it is a very smoothing, very nice primer. It's not gonna give you the glowy look that you may come to expect from Iconic London's primers, and it also has a matching setting spray. So again, when I get a chance to do that, I will film the video. And I am gonna use my Beauty Blender to kind of bounce this into the skin. I love this concealer because it's truly flawless. It takes seconds to blend out and it feels light as air. Like I don't even feel like I've done anything except take a sponge and go against my skin. That's all I feel. Like you don't feel the heaviness of product. It feels so lightweight, which is absolutely perfect for this time of the year where it's incredibly hot. Here we are in almost like the end of August and it's still very hot here in Alabama. The humidity is insane. So I have been doing very light, minimal layers, hardly anything around the eyes as I mentioned before, but this has been my go-to because it is the closest match to kind of this more golden tan. It's still a little light, but with bronzer and everything else on top, it's fine and I can make it work. So as you can see, as I've been talking to you, I'm done blending this in. And it evened out my complexion. You can still see my freckles. You can still see some scarring, but the complexion itself looks smoother, looks just much more even and light as air. Let me tell you, I adore this formula so much. And I also have been taking that same concealer and using it as concealer, but I do like to mix something just a hint lighter to create a little bit more brightness under the eyes, especially in that innermost corner. I should be using like a corrector first because I have not been sleeping the greatest, and the under eye is definitely a place where you can see that. For that brightness in the innermost corner, I'm gonna go with one of my absolute loves. This is the concealer from Estee Lauder, the Double Wear Concealer. I truly adore this formula. As you can see how bright and light that is my year-round go-to shade. So I have definitely gotten so much color, and that shade is called 1N, and I love this formula. It's flawless, it's beautiful, it wears incredibly well. I have no complaints about that concealer whatsoever, and it's beautiful with the foundation mixed with other products, and I just love how it adds just a little bit of brightness, but not too much, especially because I'm mixing it with that 4N shade from Tirtir. The two together is just such a beautiful duo. I love it so much. Moving ahead to the next steps, I'm gonna go in with a liquid bronzer. I have been using a powder bronzer, and I just kind of want to shout this out because this is actually such a good loose powder bronzer. It's from Doll Skin, and it's called the Warming Filter Powder, and it is upside down, number one, but it is such a good product. It is a loose powder. It looks so beautiful, incredibly natural. So if I use bronzer, this is what I've been using lately. But I do want to use a liquid so that we can go in with the new Anastasia bronzer that I showed you at the beginning of the video. So I'm going to go in with some of my Natasha Denona. This is the High Sculpt Liquid Bronzer in the shade called Foxy. And it is, again, one of those formulas that's just so beautiful. Her brand and formulation, Natasha Denona, is just such an elevated experience. I love her products, and she's coming out with a new foundation, and you better believe I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna go in with a Morphe brush. This is the M242. This is a cream and liquid bronzer. And guess what I did when I couldn't film? I cleaned my brushes, y'all. I finally cleaned my BK Beauty brushes. All of my Morphe brushes, which are incredible, by the way. And I'm just so excited to now have fresh, clean brushes. It makes all the difference. So I'm going to go in with this bronzer and kind of bronze up my face just a little bit. And then we're going to seal this in with the bronzer from ABH. Now let's go ahead and try out the powder bronzer from Anastasia. I pulled two brushes from my Morphe collection that I think might be good for that. And the first one is the M241, which is made for powder bronzers, and it's an angle, but it's nice and fluffy, still slightly dense, and then a little bit fluffier, more of a rounded powder style brush. This is the M162 powder brush. So we'll kind of see how I feel about using this first brush, the 241. I love these. I did a full in-depth video about these brushes. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I talk about every single brush. Let's go into the bronzer. This is the Smooth Blur Bronzer in the shade called Warm Sand Vibes. And it's like perfect timing because I'm headed to the beach in a couple days and I cannot wait to get my toes in the sand and just be in my happy place. That's the perk of living in Alabama. We are closer to the beaches than ever before, so I'm ready for the warm, sandy beaches. Okay, so let's go in with that brush, pick up some of the product. I'm gonna tap it onto the back of my hand, working it into the bristles of the brush. And then we're gonna use that to add a little bit more color, but to kind of set down that liquid bronzer from Natasha Denona. Yep. I kind of knew that was gonna be smooth and blurring. I mean, again, ABH does fantastic products. Of course they do. Of course this is gonna be beautiful. Look at that. And it's giving me the Golden Goddess vibes, making my face match the rest of my body a lot better, more cohesive. Take what's left on my brush and go around the jawline. Yeah, right? It's giving bronzy vibes. It's giving summer. Blurred, smooth. And that's the only powder product that I've used so far today. And my skin looks smooth and blurred. I'm telling you, there's something about this primer that truly does smooth and blur the skin. But these bronzing products, this is amazing. We're off to a great start and I'm loving every second of how this is looking, and it makes me very happy. Moving on to blush, which I'm very excited about, and I told you this formula from Kosas was elite, okay? These minis were from a trio from last fall holiday collection. I snagged it as soon as I saw it because I knew that they were gonna sell out, and those are just absolutely perfect for travel, to try out the formula. They're cute, but they have enough product in it. The full sizes are obviously going to give you much more product. Okay, I bought that new shade, Hype, because I wanted it to expand my collection. They also have some really bright, fun ones that came out for the summer. I bought one shade in that collection. This one's called Heartbeat, and it's very vibrant and incredibly beautiful. It looks scary, but it is not whatsoever. If you put a little bit on, this looks like chef's kiss. Honestly, it looks incredible. So let's go into that new one that I purchased in the shade called Hype, which is described as a warm poppy pink. I'm gonna do the Kosas on my left side, and then we're gonna try out that Revolution blush on my right. So I'm gonna go in with the Kosas first, with the A507 brush from the Angie Hot and Flashy BK Beauty collab. Yeah. I'm so glad about this. Look at how pretty that looks. And it looks really bright and fun, but it still has that kind of softness to it. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. And that's what I love about baked formulas, is because they sit so beautifully on the skin, where it kind of melts down into your skin, into the base layers that you have already applied. And it looks really natural. This one has just a subtle kind of sheen to it, but it's not sparkly, it's not glittery. There's no shimmer particles. It just makes the skin look like skin, with a little bit more color, like it's just natural. And that's the goal of the day. I don't know how many times I said the name or word natural today, but I hope you get the idea. Yeah, Kosas did that. Now let's do the Revolution Bouncy Blush on my right side. And this is the shade called Blurry Rose. And when you put your finger in there, you will see an imprint. It has that bouncy, kind of moussey type of texture. Very interesting and very different. On the back, it says Bouncy Blur Blush, cream to powder. And this feels so soft. The texture on this is incredibly soft, but you can just feel that this is definitely going to be blurring. I kind of have an idea in my mind that I'm going to regret just buying one shade. Yeah. And that's that Blurry Rose. Let me give you a swatch of that. Oh, yes. And look at how smooth and blurring that looks. Do you see that? My camera will focus. Maybe there you can see it. It's soft, it's blurry, it's smooth, it's velvety. It's all the things. And when you blend this out even more, it just gives such a blurred, almost like a filter effect to the skin. I'm gonna love this, I already know. And for this, I'm going to use my Duo Complexion brush from e.l.f. I just picked up the product again, working it into the back of my hand. And then we're just going to apply this in a stippling motion on this right side. And honestly, the colors are quite similar, no? Do you see that? Let's build this side up a little bit, but that looks so pretty. It's blending out so easily right over my concealer, right over the bronzer. And yeah, it's giving blurred. It sure is. And it's looking really soft. I feel like I could probably build this up. And when you put your brush in there, you can kind of see a little bit of your marks from your brush. Looks like that when you pick it up. I would still recommend that you work it into the back of your hand just to kind of get everything nice and evenly applied to the brush so that it blends much more seamlessly onto the skin. This is Revolution, and then this is Kosas. So tell me, which blush do you like? Do you like the Kosas one better? Or do you like the Revolution? For me, it's hard to decide, so I'm gonna say I need them both. I said what I said. I am so happy that I have these. If you could see my blush drawer right now, you would probably be thinking, girl, what in the world are you doing buying more blush? The drawer is like literally overfilled. But you better believe I'm gonna find a slot to fit these. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Let's move on to eyes. Let me show you some swatches of the Makeup by Mario Cream Shadows, the two new ones, and the shade swatch of the mauve, which is the first color that I purchased. So on the back of my hand, I have these shades for you. So this first one here is called Mauve. In the center is the shade called Taupe, and then the lightest one here is called Sandstone. So those are the three shades that I have so far. I'm gonna pick up the first brush that I grabbed, which is the A501 brush from the Angie Hot and Flashy. And again, I'm just gonna work that into my brush. The Sandstone shade is gonna be a little hint of color without being too much. It's gonna be kind of close to my skin tone color. So this would be great for a base, like a primer step. So easy to help kind of neutralize the lids, tone down the discoloration, any redness. I still had just a hint of like a pinkiness right through here where I had the eczema, but it's almost completely cleared up. Same thing on this side. This eye was so swollen, so inflamed. And while I was sleeping at night, let me just give you a little story time while I do this. I'm gonna pick up some more product, by the way. I must have scratched my lids, and when I woke up, I had some like dry blood on my lids, and it stung so bad. I don't know how I did that. In my sleep, I had no idea what was going on, what I was dreaming about, but I literally scratched my lids so bad that it was so painful. Like it was kind of irritated. It was bleeding. It was like the worst eczema experience I think I've ever experienced. I haven't had issues with eczema in a very, very long time. We're talking many, 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 many years. So I was so shocked to be dealing with that. And it literally came out of nowhere. I had no idea where that came from. I'm glad it's almost gone, but I could not put any makeup on, anything around the eye. So I just did mascara and a little bit of liner. But this color, going back to this formula, is really simple and easy. It's almost like my skin tone, but just a little bit more amped up and a little bit more depth. I know that's not the best place to show you the swatch, but it's a little bit darker. When my skin kind of fades, it'll look a little bit more intense in tone. But right now, since I do have some color on my skin, it doesn't look like much at all. So I think what I want to do is maybe take a little bit of that mauve, and these dry down very quickly. And when they do, they stay on, they don't go anywhere. So let's take a little bit of that mauve. I'm kind of feeling it. Why not? And just, again, back of my hand. Actually, I'm going to go in with that same brush, just kind of working that in. And I'm going to use this color a little bit closer to the base of my lashes on my lids and kind of blend that up towards the crease. And then I want to take what's left on the back of my hand with that same brush and just kind of point that brush upwards and get right underneath the lower lash line. For liner, I'm going to go into that Kosas liner that I purchased. This is the Allure shade, which is a dark brown. And I just want to kind of point out that on the very end, it comes with a tiny little cap, and there's that smudger to kind of smudge it out, create a smoky look. But if you pull that little smudgy cap, you also get a sharpener to keep that point nice and sharp if you need it. And I think it's genius the way they designed this pencil. And then it has like a little bit of a grip right there. So it's really easy to hold. It's a twist up. You don't have to deal with sharpening it very often if you don't want to. But if you like a sharp, precise point, just know that that smudger does become a sharpener. And that is what the Allure shade looks like. It's a nice, rich, dark brown that is a true dark brown. It's not too warm. It's not also too cool tone. It's like the perfect everyday type of brown tone. A very thin line at the base of my lashes to start. And I'm just gonna lay down that pencil and do tiny little dashes and connect them as I move across my lash line. And once I have that down, I'm gonna then switch over to the smudger tip and just kind of work that gently to thicken and soften the edge of that line. Also kind of fade it towards the innermost corner. And then just create a little bit of a smokiness at the base of my lashes. And then I definitely do want to build this up a little bit more. So I'm just going to kind of work this back and forth like so. Final step for the eyes is that mascara from Kosas. This is going to lengthen and also take care of the lashes by nourishing them with some peptides. I cannot wait to try this. Let me show you what the wand looks like. It has a bit of an hourglass shape to it, so it's a little bit wider at the base and at the tip of the wand, but then it kind of narrows in the center, creating that hourglass shape. And the formula comes out quite clean when you first pull this wand out, and I feel like I don't see any clumps on the applicator, which is great. So now let's do one eye and we'll kind of compare and see how much length I get. So let's put this on the right side. I'm going to show you one coat from inner corner to outer corner as I normally would apply it. And I did get a little bit smudged up towards my lid space, but I'm going to let that dry and it'll come right off. This is one coat of the mascara, and then this is my bare lashes. I do feel like I can see a difference. It looks a little bit more kind of lifted, like it said. It's going to give me some length, so I do see that. But it does look at the moment more of a softer, just more everyday kind of lash look, which is not a bad thing whatsoever. But I'm going to let that hang out. We'll do one coat on this side, and then we'll compare 2 coats to 1 coat and see if there's really a difference when you layer this mascara. So let me do this other side and then we'll compare. Now let's go ahead and build up this first side with that second coat, and then we'll compare 2 coats versus 1. All right, so now we have that second coat done on this right side, and then this is 1 coat. Do you see a difference? 2 coats versus 1. I actually do think I can see a difference. I feel like this side just looks a little bit more lifted, like there's a little bit more length to it. I do wish that there was just a little bit more separation maybe on that first coat. But honestly, it's not a bad mascara. I think it's going to build up nicely. And I do have a feeling that this is going to get better as it sits in the drawer for a little bit. So after that first week, maybe week 2, it's going to get better. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen with this mascara. Usually that's the case. With most mascaras, the first time you use it may not be like wow. Although that can happen where you have that wow moment from the first swipe, from the jump. But oftentimes, the more the mascara sits out, the better it gets. So I'm not mad at this at all. For me, I would probably only use about 2 coats of this anyways, like I just did for today's video, and leave it at that. I do think that, honestly, looking at it, this side looks slightly longer than this side, does it not? I actually like this left side better. This had maybe a little bit more time to dry, that first coat, but I'm not mad at it. I think it's a pretty good one. I'm also going to go ahead and use the same mascara for the lower lashes since it has some conditioning properties to it. I want to get those benefits on the lower lashes as well. So what I'm going to do is just a thin, light layer just to coat the lashes just nicely without trying to overclump and overdo it, especially at the bottom where I do have long lashes. I kind of want to keep that just softer, lighter, just a little bit more minimal. Now for the lip products, I'm going to show you the swatches of these 3 products, and then we'll figure out what we want to do for a lip combo for the day. I also want to incorporate the Half Magic Sculptitude. It's a 2-in-1 lip liner, which is really cool. There's 2 shades in one pencil, which is genius. And I have that in the shade, actually, is it even written here? Yes. Prancing Queen and Emu Rose is the duo here. I think I might use that as my lip liner, but let's go ahead and swatch these. Let's start off with the Clarins lip oil. Ooh, this smells fruity and sweet. I always say like candy because honestly, that's what they all smell like sweet gummy candy. This is the doe foot applicator for the Clarins lip oil. It's a pretty wide one, as with most lip glosses and lip oils. So on my lips, I just had a little bit of a clear gloss, and that's pretty much worn off. So let's go straight in with this. And that's the Clarins lip oil. What do you think? I actually really love this shade. For a lip oil, this has just a hint of color, but I can actually see it. And it gives almost kind of like an effortless kind of peachy vibe to the lips, where you really honestly don't even need to pair this with anything else. Those quick summer days where you want to throw some makeup on or just kind of do minimal and put something on your lips so it looks like a cohesive look for the day, this would be perfect. And of course, with a lip liner, you can kind of bring back the shape and definition of your lips and create a lip look with it. But this is incredibly beautiful. They have 2 shades that came out with a recent launch, and I just chose the lightest shade that seems very me, and I love that sheen and kind of sparkle. It feels soft, it feels smooth. You don't feel the shimmer in it, so it's not like a super chunky glitter or sparkle that feels jagged and rough on the lips. Very nourishing, very conditioning, as with the Clarins lip oil formula, and that is stunning. Next up is the Milani. This is the Candy Apple lip oil. This is the Fruit Fetish one in shade 220. So this is supposed to give a little bit of color, and I'm kind of excited for what this is going to look like. The applicator, again, is one of those more wide doe foot applicators. The smell, though, this kind of, wow, I just feel like I've been transported back to something when I was a kid. Like maybe one of those lip smackers. I feel like this kind of has like a slight kind of apple scent, but for whatever reason, the first thing I thought of was strawberry, which is bizarre because it literally says candy apple. And maybe that's what it is, that sort of candied apple kind of fall. I don't know what it is, but it smells incredible. And that is a swatch of that. So it has just a hint of red to it, but not much. And there is a little bit of a kind of sheen, just like a little bit of a shimmer. Again, one of those things that you probably won't be able to notice very often because it is very transparent. There's not a lot of color. So let's go in with the Candied Apple. And this is the Milani Candy Apple Lip Oil. What do you think about this one? I think this is a nice kind of basic color. It doesn't have a lot of tint to it. It's barely anything on the lips. It's kind of, honestly, just looks pretty much clear against the natural pigmentation of my lips. So I wanted this to have just a little bit more color based off of the photos on the Ulta website. That's what led me to buy this. I don't know. I like this formula. This formula is good. I have some others from this line, some that have a little bit more color to it, but because this kind of comes off almost kind of clear, I don't really feel like this is something that is an absolute must-have. Out of the 2 lip oils though, definitely the Clarins had more pigment, and even though it's more expensive, you get more color out of it, so it looks more like a lip look that I could pull off by itself. This just looks clear, and I've got plenty of those in my collection. And now for that Rare Beauty lip gloss. This looks so pretty. It has that similar cap to like their blushes, their concealer. It's kind of like a signature thing for the brand, and I like that sort of clear packaging there. And of course the shade has to be pink because what else would I be wearing? This is the shade called Flicker. And the doe foot applicator is a little bit smaller, a little bit more narrow, and still has that rounded edge for a little bit more of a precise application there. And then here's the swatch of the Flicker shade. So it's a really pretty soft baby pink color. Again, this one has a little bit of sparkle to it, but I think this may be a much more noticeable sparkle on the lips because you can kind of see it through there, but then you also see it, that little bit of glimmer, which is so pretty when you do the swatch on the back of your hand. So let's go in with this one. Oh yeah. And this is the Rare Beauty lip gloss in Flicker. This is an immediate yes. I love this formula. I love how it feels on the lips. It kind of smoothed out the lines of the lips, made them feel soft, more cushioned, more nourished. all good things, and I love that color. It's a soft baby pink shade. It looks a little darker in the tube versus what it is when you apply it. Do you see the difference? However, I can still see the pigment and the color, that pink tone coming through with nothing else on the lips. So again, it's one of those, just like the Clarins, that you can wear absolutely on their own with nothing else. No lip liners, no lipsticks, no other helping products, just this on your lips and go, and it creates the most beautiful look. And that kind of high shine gloss, if you know, you know. I am a gloss girl to the day I die. You will not catch me dead without some gloss, okay? Because I just love that glossy look to the lips. They look bigger, juicier, more plump. They just look better with a gloss on. Am I right? Let me tell you, I think I just found my new go-to combo. This right here. So I took that 2-in-1 lip liner from Half Magic. I used the Prancing Queen side, which is the more pink side. I will show you a swatch of those. So these are the two shades that you get. So the Prancing Queen is the more pink, and then the one that has a little bit more of a warmer brown, that's a great sculpting type shade, is the color called Emu Rose. So both of those are included in this one. Amazing formula, super creamy and pigmented. And then I went back into that Rare Beauty Gloss and Flicker. Tell me that is not the most perfect pinky rose color for every day. No matter what I do on the eyes, this color combination on the lips is going to be perfection. It is me encapsulated into a lip look. Like, absolutely. This screams my name. And I love the way these two look. This formula is so good. So, so good. Again, I should have ordered more shades. I always do that to myself. I only buy one just to kind of keep it easy on the wallet, and then I always go back and buy more. I did the same thing with the Makeup by Mario products because these are just so good. And that, my friends, is the full face completed for today. And I absolutely loved everything that I shared with you today. There was only one meh kind of product just because it wasn't a lot of pigment, but beyond that, everything was a hit. And that truly makes me happy. And I cannot tell you how fulfilled I feel in this moment. Filming and putting on a full face of makeup, even though it's soft, natural, kind of everyday kind of vibes, it still makes me feel like myself. And it makes me happy. And this is exactly what I needed. So thank you for being here with me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Everything is going to be listed and linked for you down below. Share with me in the comments what your thoughts are. What are some new launches that you're eyeing? What did you buy recently that you have been loving? Come on, let me know. Don't gatekeep from me, y'all. Just tell me what you've been loving so that I can try it if I haven't already. Thanks again for being here. Don't forget to subscribe. I post every Tuesday and every Friday. I'll see you on social media as well, and I'll catch you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.